Hey everybody, hopefully I'm live. I just clicked go live and I'm out doing a little bit of driving today. Thought I would do a live stream from the road. Hope you guys are having a great Saturday so far, great weekend, and had an idea for a video today that I thought I would do about how do you find a cheap van to convert to a camper. And I've seen this pop up online in a few different places where people are asking, hey, like, where'd you find your van? How'd you find a good deal? That type of thing. If you're new to my channel, you may or may not know that I paid $600 for this van, which is a 2005 Chrysler Town and Country. And the last one that I had, which was a 93 Plymouth Voyager, I believe, I paid, I want to say $600 as well, if I'm not mistaken. Where I sit right now in this van as I'm driving it, I got about just shy of 261,000 miles. And it's been holding up pretty good. I did have to have cover gasket replaced because it was leaking a little bit of oil, and it's dry as a bone now. I just did something as cheap as I could, just some routine types of things. But the one thing that I'll say about, finding a good deal when you're out there shopping around. So what I typically tell people to do, and that's what I want this video to be about, is try not to look where everyone else is looking, right? So where everybody else looks is Craigslist, Facebook, those types of places. And so I've got a few different places that I've been looking that I'll talk about real quick, because wherever you live, you might be able to leverage some lesser known places to find a van. And so I'll just go through them really quick. So the first thing is that I'll say is drive around, because one of the things that we forget, those of us who are on the internet a lot more, is there's still a lot of people in our country who are either don't have access to the internet, or they don't use the internet, or they don't want it. And so I've seen situations where you'll find a used car somewhere. I feel like my head's almost getting cut off. You'll find a used car somewhere on the side of the road, and you'll be talking to them, and ask them, hey, where do you have this listed? And they'll be like, well, what do you mean? And you'll say, well, where do you have it for sale? And they'll say, right here. You know what I mean? Like, right here at the end of my driveway. That's where I have it for sale. So there are deals to be had out there. And like where I live, I'm a little bit further out from the cities. I'm in a more rural setting. And so there's farmhouses, there's, little back roads that, a lot of people don't go down. And what's funny to me is that I see used cars for sale all the time down these side little back roads. Speaking of being in the country, so it says I have to reconnect. Hopefully I come back. I'm just going to assume I did. I think I'll go back the other way. Getting a little bit too much out in the boonies. Hold on. I really don't want to start this over, so I'm hoping I didn't lose you guys. Let me know if I did, or let me know if I didn't. Let me know if you can still hear me. I'll just keep going like I'm still live. So yeah, so I see those deals all the time out in the side roads, wherever you might be. The next place for me is we have a small local radio station in our town, and they do what's called thanks, James, appreciate that. James says I'm still live. They have so I think it's like every morning, Monday through Friday, and it runs for a half hour or an hour. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But you can call in, and so you can call in and say, hey, I'm selling this, I'm selling that. And then you just give them your phone number if they want to reach out to you, and, they're interested in making the deal, right? And so a lot of those people as well, what I find are people who are, again, not going to post a classified ad on the internet. They like the fact that they live in a small town. They like the fact that they can call into this radio station. They like the fact that they can, just give a local number and have the people call them and do the deal. But the best part is the radio station still posts the classified ad on their website. So even if you get somebody who, calls into the radio show and doesn't want to, post a classified ad on the internet, their ad still ends up getting out there. And so I've gone through on the classified page of this radio station, and they, you can go back and look at like a week ago or 2 weeks ago what people were posting. And my guess would be that the average person who's looking for a used car doesn't know about that, because they don't know about it, they don't check it, they don't even know it's there. So when you're trying to find a deal of some kind, this is really true about anything. You've got to go looking where other people aren't. And so I always avoid, I don't avoid, obviously, if I'm bored and I want to, look at classified ads just for kicks and giggles, I'll go on Facebook and Craigslist. But for the most part, if I want to, I want to find a deal, I'm going to go, search and look in places where other people aren't. Which leads me to the next one, and that is that newspapers still run classified ads. Again, the common theme of my video today is look where other people aren't. And so there are still people who are old school, and maybe this is just around me, maybe it wouldn't work by you. They're not comfortable posting on the internet, so they're going to still use the old school classified ad in the newspaper, baby. And so especially if you look at some of the towns around you that maybe have like around me, there's several different size type newspapers. This doesn't just work for car deals. Again, this works for anything that you're looking for. People are so accustomed to using the internet, being on their phone, that they've gotten lazy, so to speak. So they'll go on Facebook, they'll scroll a little bit, they'll go on Craigslist, they'll scroll a little bit, maybe they'll drive by a used car lot, and they go, oh, I can't find nothing. And that's it. But think of it like fishing. That's what I always do. If you go fishing, you want to find the secret honey hole, right? And you want to find it, and then you don't want anyone else to know. You're not going to go out there and tell people, right? So I view shopping that way. I don't look for, like even at the grocery stores, I don't know how many of you know this is a total sidetrack, but they put the things that people are most likely to buy at your eye level. And then everything's up higher, that sells not as well, or lower that doesn't sell as well. So you got to think differently. One of my sons just went by me. That's funny. And then the last thing I'll say is family and friends. So, I don't know why I can't remember the story. Oh, yeah. So both, that's the key. That's probably one of the most important things. Both van deals I got from someone I knew. So my first one, the 93 Plymouth, I got that was from a guy who had it, and he was going to flip it, and he said, "Oh yeah, I got a van. I'm going to flip it." And I said, "Oh, I want to see it." He goes, "Oh no, you're not going to like this van. It's old and all that sort of stuff." And so I was like, by the way, if you can still hear me, just hit the like button so I know that I didn't lose you guys. Oh no, you're not going to want to buy this van. It's old and rusty. The interior's in great condition, and that's the van. That's my very first ever video on this channel that you can go back and watch. So I said, "No, I want to see it. Show it to me." So I went over to his house and looked at it, and he was just like, "You're not going to want to buy this. They're not going to be interested in this." And I said, "Well, how much do you want for it?" Speaking of which, I just drove past the dealer, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know." And I had sold a motorcycle, and so I think I offered him I can't remember how much I offered him, and he goes, "Oh no, I can't take that much." And I think we ended up buying it for $600. Thanks to whoever hit the like button. I saw that, so now I know I'm still alive. He goes, "No, I can't sell it for that much." And so he actually counter offered me less. And I think I ended up getting to reconnect again. People assume that people don't want to buy old vans like this. And again, that's where people that are a part of this community on the internet, on YouTube, know, of course we're interested, right? Let's make it happen. And so they almost feel bad selling it to you because it's in such bad condition and you're looking for a deal. And so same thing happened with the second guy. He's like, "Oh no, I can't take that much." And he talked me down to $600. So anyway, so you just got to think differently. You got to look in places where other people aren't, and you just have to be patient. That's the other big thing. Just be patient. This is one thing that I learned that I wish I could go back in time about. I actually wish I wouldn't have sold my last van. Now, because this is kind of a man, this is like my hobby, so to speak. I don't have an old car. I have a van. I did feel kind of obligated financially, in my situation, to sell the other van before I got another one. But there is a part of me that kind of wishes I would have held on to that van, even though you couldn't really drive it in the rain anymore because it had some electric exposure. I think I would have liked to have kept it just for nostalgia because I love that thing. I should find that kid that bought it for me and see if he still has it. Because the guy that bought it for me, he was a college student. He had gotten in a car accident, and he was okay, but he had totaled his car, and he had a pretty nice car. And so he had a payout for, I think it was a few $1,000s that he was going to put into that van. And he was stoked, man. He was like, "I got $2,000 or $3,000. I'm going to put it in this man. I wonder what this thing's going to look like when he gets done with it." But yeah, so I hope you guys found that video helpful because I know a lot of people online are, just trying to figure out, how do I find a cheap van? And hopefully just by doing some of the things that I talked about, don't do the same thing that everyone else is doing when you're looking for a deal. Look in very unique spots around you. If you ever came across a deal or something like that, let me know in the comments below, or if you have any other questions, thoughts, opinions about this video. I'd love to hear from you. So thanks everyone for watching. Have a great Saturday.